come on, the pals are calling you. Come on, be loyal, brave and true.
They say that to understand someone, you should first walk a mile in their shoes, or in this case, boots. These Bradford pals of the Great War Society are undoubtedly older than the lads who rushed to join up together for Kitchener's army, but their kit is authentic down to the buckles, and the camp in Mesnil-Mutt in Serre would be instantly recognisable in sepia. They're here to honour the Britons who fell 90 years ago, and the French who fought by their sides.
There's something about the First World War Tommy that touches the psyche of the British public. It really is. It's very emotional. When we march down the road, you see people and we're instantly recognised, and very often applauded. I think as a nation we're just incredibly proud of what those men actually did and what they achieved and the way they achieved it. Kind of, you know, the country at its finest hour in adversity.
The Bradford and Leeds pals spent the days before the big push in the village of Bus-les-Artois, behind the lines. The church still bears graffiti from the bored and homesick soldiers, and in the barn opposite they rested their exhausted, lice-ridden bodies between spells in the trenches. The farmers' descendants still feel a special bond.
I think we have a duty of commemoration because we can't forget it. It was very a dirty and a bloody war.
The villagers and today's Tommies joined to dedicate a new memorial here to the Leeds Pals Battalion, decimated, like so many others, on the first day of the Somme. The bugle sounding the last post was made for the battalion when it was first raised.
While you but Lucifer to light your flag, smile boys, that's the start.
This cafe was the original estaminet, where, history relates, two pals drowned their sorrows so successfully before the battle, they missed it and went on the run. Both were shot at dawn for desertion. Evelyn Gray's grandmother served the veterans who returned after the war. She says the village is delighted to see the uniform back once more.
Bradford and Leeds pals.
The day before the anniversary is scorching, exactly as it was in 1916. The heavy serge uniforms are almost unbearable.
It's hot. It's hot, and I'm wet inside. I'm very wet, but it's you do get used to it. It's not so bad laying down here, but it's quite grim if you're marching. They had it worse than we did, and we can't really complain.
There's a great empathy between these historians and the men of Kitchener's army, but few illusions. Tommy Atkins really was only human.
They were ordinary people doing incredible things. They are us 90 years ago. You get the same mixture of people. You've got the good soldiers, you've got the bad soldiers, you've got the villains, you've got the criminals. You know, everybody was in there. But collectively is what they managed to achieve that was so great.
Many in this camp have served with the forces or the TA, and it shows.
You learn all the skies, you learn how to get equipment without actually buying it, you get the best food, you get the best tent, and you get the best position when marching.
Mail call on the eve of the battle. These are letters written by Bradford school children as if to Tommy fathers and brothers, and they clearly identify with those 1916 families. It's a surprisingly emotional experience.
It's obviously written by a 13, 14-year-old boy, and one of the things that he's put in there, as if he's writing to his father, is "Daddy, I love you so much." And it's not so. I've got a teenage son, and it's something that you know, you don't hear that often.
It's good. Very good. Yeah, keep that.
At 7:28 on the morning of July the 1st, 1916, the British blew a mine that signalled the start of the big push. Instead of going over the top, today's pals joined with hundreds of others at the Lochnagar crater to remember the thousands left dead, dying and maimed at the end of that terrible day. The Tommies of the trenches have all but marched into history, but their memory as heroes lives on.
It's always very, very special, and it's always just an absolute privilege to wear the uniform that they wore and basically perpetuate their memory.
Katie Roy, BFBS reports on the Somme.